You know, we live in an area where people are constantly coming and going, right? I mean, Norfolk is home of the largest naval base in the world. Hampton Roads is a military area where people come and go all the time. Typically, they stay between 2 and 3 years and then head out when their orders are up. And so we live in this nomadic area where time here for most people, especially in the military, is short-lived. And it's been cool for me as a pastor just to get to meet so many different people from all over the country, right? People from Wisconsin, Texas, California, New York, Louisiana, Tennessee, Idaho, Florida. I don't know if they really say it like that. I think they talk that way. But it's been cool being able to meet people from all over the country and just hearing their stories. It's great to hear their experiences, right? And I've met quite a few people who joined the military to get away from where they were from. They were like, I hated it there. I had to get out. Some people joined the military to get away from their family. Others joined the military because they couldn't think of anything else to do with their lives. And then there were some who joined the military just because they wanted to serve the country, right? But being in such a transient area, it's tough for me at times. And it's sad, too, because I'll get to meet people as they find a church. They come to our church and they plug in, they get connected, and then 8 months later, 2 years later, they're off to the next base. They're off to the next place. Their orders are up, and then they move. And it's sad seeing people go, but it's also hopeful, because hopefully me as a pastor in our church, as a community, we've helped them, give them a vision and a direction in life for them to take and to live and to love and to show people God and the impact He's had in their life, and so they can take that wherever they go and make a difference elsewhere. So it's great knowing that we had a chance to be part of their story and help them make an impact wherever they go. And, you know, as people come and go, I don't hear this much about Norfolk or people being stationed here in the Hampton Roads area, because I think this area is a pretty great place. But every once in a while, I'll hear someone say this. They'll say, I hate it here, right? I can't wait till I'm up for new orders. I hate it here. Or they'll talk about where they're going. They have orders for where they're going, and they're like, oh, I don't want to go to Lemoore, right? Like, oh, I'm going to hate it there. It's either I hate it here, I'm going to hate it there, or I hate it where I came from, right? And I'll meet people who talk about their hometown. It's like, I hated it there. I hated living there. And this goes beyond just people in the military. I mean, kids can't wait to graduate and go to college because I hate it here. I can't wait to get out of the house. I'll hear people talk and they'll say, oh, I hate it here. I'm going to Nashville because there's no music here. I hate it here. I can't wait till I go to New York because there's nothing here for me, right? I don't like this place. I really can't wait till I go to Texas because it's its own country. I hate it here. And again, this goes beyond just people in the military, even moving to someplace else, because we like it better, or there may be something better or more opportunities to pursue our hopes and dreams. And look, sometimes it's good to leave. Sometimes it's good to have a change of place and a change of pace, because that creates a change in perspective. And sometimes moving on, when you do that, you soar to all new levels of living. But there's this mindset and this feeling that we have of not loving where we are. And this bleeds into all kinds of areas in our life, right? I hate this job. I can't wait to move on. This family is a wreck. I'm ready for something new. This church isn't perfect, so I'm out. I can't wait till I'm in high school. I hate high school. I'm ready for college. I hate being single. I'm ready to date someone. I hate being married to this person. I need to find someone else. I can't wait till we have kids. I can't wait till our kids are out of the house. I hate having our kids out of the house because now I'm lonely, right? It just seems like all these times in our life we're looking for the next thing. We're longing for the next things. And sometimes we're even hating the place we're in. We're hating the moment of life we're in. And I've encountered this in conversations with people. I've seen it in my own life, right? This lack of contentment for where we are and the longing for something else, that if I could just be stationed there, if I could just move there, if I could just leave here, if I could be in this situation, in this scenario, then I'd be fulfilled and complete and I'd feel better. And look, that may very well be true, right? I mean, that place, that position, that stage, that level, that opportunity in life may very well be best and better for you. But what I've seen, and I've even felt it myself, is a longing for something else at the expense of despising where I am and what I have now. In life, it's like what I have now just isn't good enough. I mean, if I could live under the San Diego sky, if I could just live under the New York sky, if I could just live under the Tennessee sky, if I could live under the new job sky, the college sky, the dating someone sky, then everything would be better. But all the while, we live with discontent when it comes to the current sky we're living under. For the next few minutes, I want to center our thoughts around this title. Love the sky you're under. Love the sky you're under. You know, I believe that life is this journey that we're on, and the goal in life is to know Jesus and to become more like Jesus so that we can live like Jesus, bringing bits and pieces of heaven here to earth, making this world look more like heaven. You know, Paul, this early Christian who journeyed to kill Christians, actually met the resurrected Jesus. Like, the resurrected Jesus cut him off in his journey, and he revealed himself to Paul, and Paul accepted Jesus. He believed that Jesus was the Son of God, and he was baptized into him, and he diverted his journey from killing people who followed Jesus to actually following Jesus himself. Here's how Paul explained this journey that we're on. He said this: follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. Right? Paul essentially says, hey, I'm following Jesus. I'm journeying towards Jesus. So follow me and my example, because ultimately I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. So if you're a Christian, someone who believes in Jesus, has been baptized into Jesus, has decided to follow Jesus, your life journey is motivated to progress to the point where the fact that Jesus is living in you is more and more evident all the time, right? This is what we're journeying towards. So we're in this journey of following Jesus, and to follow Jesus, we can't get stuck, right? We can't stay stagnant. We can't get caught in a spot and stay there forever. We're in this journey of movement and growth and development and leveling up in our life. And when we think about loving the sky that we're under, what it means is we shouldn't hate where we are because we aren't where we want to be. But instead, we need to recognize that where we are plays a role in where we're headed. Here's how James, Jesus' brother, explained this premise. He said it like this. He said, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing." Now, James was writing to a Christian audience, okay? Look, James is writing to a Christian audience in the Roman Empire who lived under the brutal reign of Nero. Now look, under Nero, Christians were tortured and killed. One of the most infamous things Nero did was wrap Christians in wax and cloth and oil and burn them alive to light up his gardens, right? So this is the environment in which Christians are living. This is the context surrounding James's writing here. And this isn't, hey, you have to wear a mask when you go to Walmart kind of trouble, right? This isn't Sheila at work gossiped about you and you don't want to talk to her level kind of trouble. No. This is, and by saying that, I don't mean to minimize any of your troubles, because James says when troubles of any kind come your way, of any kind. So this is applicable to any trouble that you're going through, the layoff, the ended friendship, the misunderstanding, the limited patience, the miscarriage, the sickness, the divorce, the breakup. I mean, all of it. James says the gamut of your troubles and all of it, consider it pure joy. But I want you to see the context that he's writing in. He's writing to people who are under a tyrant emperor seeking to snuff them out, right? You and I have not experienced that, right? But he's writing to these people. So you and I, we don't have a tyrant emperor seeking to snuff us out, but we can still relate when we feel overwhelmed because we're working at home with our kids, running amok, right? And all of it in that moment, under the current sky, whatever the trouble, whatever the circumstance, whatever the layoff, the divorce, anything, the breakup, all of it, he encourages us under that current sky to consider it an opportunity for great joy. Why? Because under this sky, in this moment, right now, my faith is being tested. And if I can stretch the patience a little longer, if I can hold out from the temptation a little more, if I can respond with kindness and grace and compassion, if I can hold on to hope a bit firmer, if I can stop and listen instead of react, if I can be strong and secure in this moment, then what's increasing is my endurance to be more like Jesus. And when my endurance to be more like Jesus grows, becoming more and more developed, then I'll be perfect. Perfect, meaning complete. I'll be whole, which means I don't need anything, because like Paul said in Galatians 2:20, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. But to be able to live under that kind of sky, I need to live under this sky, here and now. The idea, the premise of loving the sky you're under is whatever situation, whatever circumstance you find yourself in. Don't complain about it. Don't dread it. Don't hate it, but love the sky you're under. You know, I think about Joseph in the Old Testament as a perfect paragon of what it means to love the sky you're under, even if it's not the sky you want to be under. See, Joseph, the youngest, was loved by his dad, but hated by his 11 brothers because they were so jealous of him. See, they hated him so much that what they did was they faked his death and they sold him into Egyptian slavery to the house of Potiphar. Here's the commentary that's given while Joseph is living under the sky of slavery. It said the Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served in the home of his Egyptian master, right? So this is the sky that Joseph is under. He's under this new sky in this situation that sucks, but he makes the most of it. And he applied himself. He worked hard and he prospers. And then Potiphar's wife, we don't know her name, so we'll just call her Potiphar. She becomes infatuated with Joseph and is seized with lust for him. She tries to sleep with him, but over and over again he rejects her because he knows, hey, this isn't right. And then one day, she can't take it anymore. She throws herself upon Joseph, and he runs, but she's grabbing his cloak, and she rips it off of him. And later, she accuses him of trying to force himself on her, right? So Joseph, because he's lied on, because of this bad evidence that's seen in the wrong light, he's arrested and put in prison. But I want you to see the commentary we get when Joseph is now under a new sky in this new situation. So he took Joseph and threw him into the prison where the king's prisoners were held. But there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Like, Joseph is now living under a sky he's viewing from the window of a prison cell. But he doesn't complain. He doesn't cry and give into victim mentality. And actually, I don't know, maybe he did. Maybe he did complain a little bit, but we know that he didn't do it for very long. Instead of resigning to defeat and hopelessness, Joseph loved the sky he was under, and he made the most of it, applying himself, using this as a time to grow and develop, gaining favor with the warden. And eventually, Joseph gets out of prison, right? He gets out of prison by seizing an opportunity to interpret some dreams for a couple guys who are in prison with him and who are close to Pharaoh. And he tells one of the guys, hey, don't forget about me. When you get out of prison, don't forget about me. Tell Pharaoh about me. But the guy gets out and he forgets about Joseph. And Joseph is in prison for another 2 years. 2 years pass, and then Pharaoh has a dream that he can't understand. That's when this guy who was with Joseph in prison remembered Joseph, and he told Pharaoh about his ability to interpret dreams. So Joseph was brought from the prison to the palace, where he explained Pharaoh's dream, and he was set free, and he was made second in command to Pharaoh. Like, Joseph is now living under a whole new sky. But here's the thing. Joseph never would have been in this position, in this moment, if he hated the sky he was under previously. If he complained, if he threw pity parties, if he embraced his inner Eeyore and became a victim, right? See, some of the skies that Joseph lived under sucked, right? He was sold into slavery. He was thrown into prison. He was forgotten about. But all the while, he loved the sky he was under and made the most of where he was in that moment. Here's how we know that. See, 7 or 8 years after Joseph was released from prison, serving as the second in command in Egypt, those same brothers who sold him into slavery came to him for help because there was a famine in the land. And the brothers eventually find out that the person that they've come to for help is actually their brother Joseph. And here's what Joseph says to them, recalling all the difficult, different skies he's lived under. He said this, "But don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravished the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there'll be neither plowing nor harvesting. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors." So it was God who sent me here, not you. And he's the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of his entire palace and the governor of all Egypt. And then he said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people." So, in the moment, Joseph may have, and he could have, hated the sky he was under. But if he hated it, it wasn't for very long, because he looks back with great wisdom and insight to say, I was where I needed to be. I was under that sky for a purpose, and I've learned and grown and developed under those skies to be here now under this sky to save the lives of many people. In other words, if I hated the sky I was under and I didn't make the most of it, I wouldn't be living under this sky now. It was all part of the journey. So, let me ask you, what's the sky you're under right now? Do you love it, even if you hate it? Because you know that this place, this moment, this time, this sky you're under is designed to help you become all that God has called you to be. I mean, we're all living under the sky of COVID. So let me ask you, are you complaining or are you making the most of it? Are you just surviving or are you figuring out ways to be thriving? Are you pouting or are you finding power under this sky? What's the sky you're currently under? Is it a great job? Is it a terrible job? Is it no job? Look, love the sky you're under and make the most of it. Is your marriage the best it's ever been? Are you lonely in your singleness, or maybe you're lonely even in your marriage, right? Did your job just did you just start dating someone? Did you recently go through a breakup? Look, whatever it is, love the sky you're under and make the most of it. So are you working from home? Are you going into the office every day? Are you furloughed? Are you stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you anxious? Are you calm? Are you at peace? Are you out of shape? Are you in the best shape of your life? Are you strapped for cash? Are you rolling in dough? Wherever you are, whatever your situation, whatever sky you're under, love the sky you're under and make the most of it. And look, loving the sky you're under isn't about being complacent, but it's about being content, and it's about embracing the suck. It's about being thankful for the good and being motivated to make the most out of this moment in this time, here and now. So love the sky you're under, because you have to pass through this sky to get to the next. So be grateful for the journey, because God is taking you somewhere. Look, for we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago. Look, God is taking you through this sky and that sky and that sky so that you can be faithful in this moment under this sky to do the good He placed in your path long ago. But you'll miss the good He placed in your path long ago if you hate the sky you're currently under. You know, something always intrigued me about this story of Joseph, and it's that everything, it's that every time when Joseph's life gets tossed in the toilet, it says that God was with Joseph. God was with Joseph. I heard a preacher once say that it's actually more accurate to read that statement as God was against Joseph. And so this is true, that God is with Joseph and He's against Joseph. And here's what I mean. When I say that God is against Joseph, what it means is that Joseph had opposition in all these moments under these terrible, cloudy, stormy skies of the pit and the prison and being forgotten. But the opposition is what's required for growth, right? The opposition is what's required for growth. But remember, under those difficult skies, James says, consider it joy, because this sky you're currently under is serving as an opportunity for you to endure and grow and develop. So I like this approach that God is with Joseph, but He's also against Joseph. And being against Joseph is a really good thing, because as He's against him through these hardships, Joseph is growing and developing and leveling up. But I also like this reading that God was against Joseph as well, because it means that He was pressing up against him. He was leaning against him so as to hold him up in these moments of hardship. So, my prayer for you is whatever sky you find yourself under, may you love that sky. May you love this moment, even if it's difficult, because God is with you and He's against you, pushing, pressing, challenging so as to refine you and grow you and make you stronger. And when you feel you can't stand any longer, He's also leaning against you so as to prop you up, hold you up, and steady you, because He's not done with you yet. And this sky that you're under right now is just part of the journey and where He's taking you. And there's many more skies ahead. But until you get there, love the sky you're under.